We are live. What's up, everybody? I'm JS Garrett, and I am here live with Brad Ashlock to discuss ritual cutting, blood sacrifice, and his vendetta against EA Coetting and Behemoth X. So, Brad, can you hear me and see me okay?
Yeah. I just had to run and grab my phone. I didn't realize I can only do live on a mobile device. So, it sounds okay. Am I all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm using my cell phone too. You know, the cell phones, the iPhones have better cameras than anything nowadays.
Yeah, then the computers. And first of all, happy Father's Day from one to another. And we all want a better world, truth, love, all of that for the future. I think and I watched several of your videos, and I think that's where, freedom and truth, all of that. I think that's where hopefully you're coming from too. It looks like.
Okay, yeah. I mean, happy Father's Day to you as well. And I've stated that this will be a gentleman's discussion. I asked people, in the comments to be respectful. Even if you don't like this guy that I'm talking to, please be respectful and have some class. And we're gonna get right into this, if you don't mind. Is there anything you want to say before we get started?
No, go ahead. I hope that I'll be able to have a chance to tell you where I'm coming from and what I'm about as well. So yeah, go ahead. If you have questions to begin, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, this whole thing started out as a joke on my end. I saw not one, but three separate videos that you posted on your channel, really hammering Behemoth X and EA Coetting. And, the first two videos, comments were turned off. But I noticed on the third one, comments were turned on. So me and my buddy BK, we left you some comments kind of joking around. And I suggested that we do a live stream together, and you took me up on it. So frankly, I'm surprised that you did this, and I thank you for coming on.
Oh, and yeah, I'm surprised you invited me. So we're both
both equally surprised. All right,
yeah.
So I guess I'm going to get straight into it here. I guess okay. First of all, I have a couple questions. All right, and this is just so that we make sure that we're respectful and everything. First
Sure.
question is, what are your preferred pronouns?
He, him.
Okay, so we'll make sure. To me, that's obvious, but it's not always obvious to everyone. And I've ran into a pickle a few times with using the row pronouns on a video.
You probably ran into a literal pickle.
Yes, literal pickle. And the second one is, who did you vote for, if you don't mind me asking? Kamala or Trump?
With some reluctance, Kamala.
Okay. All right. Things are making a little more sense now. All right. I'm starting to understand you a little bit better.
Also, I went to the University of Chicago. Barack Obama was a professor there, and I've met him. Like, we nodded at each other. I was in a room with like 50 people, and this was in like 2002. And I predicted. I was like, watch this guy. And yeah, so I've got a liberal arts background. Been a Democrat my whole life until now. F them. And it's all open to me.
So you're not a Democrat anymore, or you
No. They spend $1 billion. They're idiots. They don't understand how to win. They're slapping in dirty alley knife fights, and I think that I'm furious with them. They pathetic. But anyway, I don't want to go all into politics, but that's
no. This is definitely not about politics. This is just Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, like, if I could ask this guy a couple of questions right off the bat, what would they be? You know, those are the two.
Okay.
All right. So, you posted not one but three separate videos,
And I just want to let you know. Okay, go ahead. Uh,
basically just hammering Behemoth X and EA Coetting. You did a lot of name calling. You kind of called them every name in the book, you know, from imbeciles to retards to idiots, just I mean, on and on and on.
mhm.
Blaming EA for the murders that happened in the UK a few years ago that he did get slammed for on the BBC, but also about ritual cutting and things pertaining to Behemoth X. So, I mean, do you want to say a few words about that? Like where are you coming from here? Like
Right, right.
exactly what got your attention and caused you to latch on to these two names? And second of all, second part of the question is why the fuck did you leave me out of it? Because I'm like the blood sacrifice guy. Like I'm out here promoting blood sacrifice more than anybody. I probably perform more ritual sacrifices than any other magician alive today. I can quite confidently say that because I do 3 to 5 ritual sacrifices a week
I
professionally.
have found
So,
that out. Um, all right. Well, yeah. Let's see. Go in order. The name calling, here, the start of all this. Was blown away by I'm an artist, and I was like, how do I make, so rituals are so subjective, how do you transfer that to a video and make it not, get some kind of hypnotic, or, and I think he's, with his background, he did a lot of positive things aesthetically. He calls himself an artist on Facebook.
which person
And
are we talking about?
Behemoth X.
Okay,
Before that, I interviewed EA Coetting, um, just before all that crap went down.
which EA is
And
actually in the chat right now. I don't know if you can see the chat, but he's here.
yeah, okay. I believe he was a bit high. I took that as some disrespect. Now, at the same time, um, I I thought, well, with my magic background, maybe I could help build my channel, connect with some of these guys, and I didn't push back on EA at all. I was sort of not. I was ashamed of my interview. I was trying to improve that channel, and I thought, oh, here's a connection, and I've got a lot of occult background. I want to correct you on something. I didn't say he is responsible for those murders. I don't believe he's directly responsible. Personally, I don't think that. Um, some of his writings, especially with that branch, the American branch from, was it Order of Nine Angles, under a different name, going by the media reports, I've read some of those. I think they are irresponsible. And what I even said in the video is there may be some responsibility. Now, what pissed me off was Behemoth X going, he had nothing to do. The guy had a couple of his books. That's not true. The whole Lucifer Raphael or whatever the hell, even the how the
Lucifuge, Rofakale.
Lucifuge, yeah, with there were a lot of materials and a lot of connections to EA Coetting. I believe there was some influence, and there is a logic to all of this. Um, when someone is demented or messed up, uh, you have to keep that person in your mind and at least put up some very, very strong safeguards against that. I personally don't believe that he put up enough of those.
Well, okay, so this person in the UK that committed this horrible crime, killed 2 women in a park with a knife. Um, yeah, he did have the compendium of Lucifuge in his house, and they also found a sloppy pact that the guy had written up to Lucifuge, saying that he wanted to win the lottery and things like that. Well, that obviously that pact was not accepted because the dude's in prison now. Not only did he not win the lottery, but he won himself a place behind bars for the rest of his life. So that tells me right then and there that he at least did not do this properly. And Lucifuge in no way was willing to accept the sacrifice of two innocent human beings. Now, the Compendium of Lucifuge was not just written by E.A. Coetting. There's about 9 other authors. I mean, this was a compendium. It was a compendium. All right. So there were several other authors. They all contributed their own essay that they compiled a book out of their experiences with working with Lucifuge. And this is one of the books that I actually was not published in. I regret that they did offer me to publish an essay in that book, and I didn't do it because of personal reasons. I had a lot of stuff going on at the time, but nobody else has mentioned a single thing about another name that was on the list of authors that published that book. Nowhere in that book does it encourage anyone to commit human sacrifice or act of violence in any way.
You're okay, and I don't want to go totally into the EA Coetting weeds. I barely, I just mentioned some of my experiences with him in general, and I'm not totally condemning him. I personally believe he could have done better with that, and I'm not focused on that book. This guy was in the message boards. He had other connections through the internet they found on his computer.
He was actually kicked out of the Become a Living God chat, like that. They can join to chat and whatever. They kicked him out 2.5 years before he committed these crimes because he was posting crazy shit.
Well, they said that he checked in into the chats, right into the Become a Living God, right after or right before the murders. So different names, and you can't control that. I'll lay it out honestly. I don't believe he should have had his channel totally removed. I think they should have, the videos they had a problem with, it's YouTube, they can do what they want, but I think they could have asked him to remove anything that was specifically ambiguous. He liked to play with some poetic language. I'm not for, totally, so anyway, that's my view of it. I know he's here in the chat. I think he's, I don't, I regret I didn't push back hard enough. So that's on me.
Well,
but,
do you regret any of the ugly things you said about him? I mean, you called him every name in the book.
I don't believe I did call him every name in the book.
There's a lot of name calling him idiot, an imbecile, just on and on and on.
Well, based on what I saw, I do stand by some of that, because you are not very bright if you don't understand that those words can inflame people and lead to violence. In my view, you aren't smart.
All right, so whenever a Christian whack job bombs an abortion clinic or shoots up a public area, I mean, do they like, if they find a holy Bible in a dude's house, do they cancel his priest? Do they cancel his preacher?
Here, I think it's a bad comparison. The trash that Become a Living God throws out here is not equivalent to
what is trash?
The foundation of Western civilization thought.
What about their content is trash? Like, I mean, because from my point of view, it's all about sticking up for yourself, reaching and obtaining personal power, breaking outside.
But it's not.
How is it not?
All right. I believe that, now you can look at demons metaphorically or whatever, as a negative or an actual spiritual force. I think you're all possessed. I think that you're not totally, right now. I think that you're not totally free of your thoughts. There's a lot of drug addiction, alcoholism, childhood trauma, a lot of broken people at the top. And I believe you're demon possessed. I don't believe you're doing any magic. You can't do anything on your own. You always need help. You did Belial, Behemoth X. You can't ever do anything on your own.
We need help from Belial and Behemoth X.
You did.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, I'll absolutely stick up for Belial. Yeah, I have
No,
received
no,
a
no,
great
no,
amount
no.
of help from Belial.
When the little girl with the blue hair canceled you and you went to a suicidal alcoholic spiral, who called
I've
you?
never been canceled. I there was a little
Attempted
girl.
cancellation. Yeah. But
Yeah, there
you,
was a little girl with some blue hair that played some recordings of me telling my ex-wife off
I
after she
saw
beat the
that
shit
crap.
out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
you said you were going into an alcoholic suicidal spiral, and Behemoth X
I never
called you.
said that.
He's the only one that reached out to you and helped you.
Oh, yeah. After my divorce, yeah, I did start drinking a lot. And truthfully, I wanted to die at the time. I damn near drank myself to death. And Behemoth X
And
was the
that's
one
horrible.
guy. He called me. He was like, "Man, what can I do for you?" He's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "You know what? Like, I'm drinking myself to death right now. Like, my ex-wife just stole my life savings, and she's trashing me all over YouTube and TikTok and everything else." Accusing me of being an abuser of women and children with absolutely no evidence, just you're an abuser, which
Yeah.
the whole Me Too thing, all you got to do is say it, hashtag cancel the white man, hashtag Me Too. Yeah, I was in a very tough place, just like any man who has ever had his wife take off on him and steal his child and his money. Yeah, and Behemoth X said, "What can I do for you right now, man?" I was like, "I don't fucking know, man. What can you do for me?" He's like, "You know what? Just go to bed, bro. I'm going into my temple right now. I'm going to do a working for you." I was like, "Okay." I
Right.
woke up the next day and I felt completely different. Not only did it take the taste of alcohol and the desire to non-exist anymore out of my mouth, but it gave me the energy and the willpower to push through that horrible time in my life.
Yes. But my point is the pattern of JS Garrett, when the horrible years in prison were looming over you, you didn't, you needed help. You
Years
didn't
in
take
prison.
reality. Huh?
What do you mean years in prison?
Didn't you have a felony charge hanging over you? That was
Yeah,
it.
but that was 10 years ago, and that's
No,
where
I know, I know. I'm
Belial.
going back to your
Okay,
life
that's where
patterns
Belial
are
saved my ass. Yeah. I was facing
exactly other
85
things
years.
save your ass. That's the pattern.
Yeah.
You don't do shit on your own. You couldn't get out of a hack reality. You couldn't hack getting out of a bathtub without Belial. You don't do stuff on your own. My point is, you're not doing any magic. These demons are doing it, and they're like, when you have a kid, help us make the cake. All right, you put the egg in and you stir it. We need your blood, JS. Let's put that in. Oh, we're transdimensional beings that can invade people's minds and cause events to happen, but we need this guy's blood. It makes no sense.
How does it
They
not
have
make
you
sense?
possessed. You think that you have this power. You're doing nothing. You have no magic. They're doing it all. You are getting results. You're not. They are. That's what
Okay.
I believe. This whole structure is demonic possessed, and they're doing it.
So the magician is facilitating the ritual, and the entity that the magician is working with is actually causing the change in reality. But that change
Whatever. They
would
don't
no,
care
let me
about that.
let me fucking speak. All right. That change would not take place if the magician did not take the initiative to perform the ritual. So whenever I do a ritual to heal someone of a terrible illness, or Behemoth X or EA, like we do more rituals to heal people and help people than anything. And none of us offer baneful rituals to curse people and kill people on our platforms. And none of us have ever encouraged anyone to cut themselves. If you go back and look through my videos where I'm talking about using blood and rituals, using blood to anoint the sigils, I say use a lancet, prick your finger, do not cut. Do not cut, do not fucking cut. None of us have ever told anyone to cut themselves. And so, yeah, of course, Belial is helping me do this magic. I would be nothing without Belial. I admit that. I have his sigil tattooed on my back. Belial saved my ass from being locked up for the rest of my life. Okay, so how is that a bad thing that I went to this higher power to help me escape a terrible situation that had been dropped in my lap? Like, how is that a bad thing?
In Lacanian theory, we have a moment where reality hits us, and our symbolic um, codes of dealing with the world break down, and we shatter and are ripped apart. And that's when we have to take that negativity ourselves. Now, I think you kind of went there almost maybe when you went on the mountain or whatever and killed the rooster. Um,
I was
that
working with
you were on your own,
Suntalak.
right? Huh?
Are you talking about the video I made about Suntalak, working with Suntalak for Wealth and Prestige?
Maybe you said that you were you had been brought up and then broken down, and then
Okay,
you were
so
like
we're talking about the
scared to
ride with
deal with a lot,
Belial.
and you had to, yeah.
All right.
I think that was more getting to what I'm getting at, which is in Christianity, when Jesus was on the cross, one of the most important, if not the things he did, Father, Father, why have you forsaken me? This world is so fucked up, terrible, that even God became an atheist in that moment. And he faced absolute void, total nothing,
God became an atheist.
metaphorically. If you, yeah, if in that moment. Um, Christianity is the only way toward true atheism and materialism. Look up Zizek, that's Z or Z I Z E K. He's a Christian atheist. I'm almost a Christian atheist. The point is to face that moment of absolute abandonment. You are fucking on your own. You don't have Belial. You don't have Behemoth X. You are on your fucking own, motherfucker. And when you go through that and you go and you see this big dark space of absolute nothing and void, and you want to kill yourself, believe me, believe me, I know. What I was able to do, I'm just talking, I put on my channel my panic attacks as you have, my depression as you have. We're both open people.
I really don't have panic attacks, but okay.
All right, I think you had mentioned something about a panic attack, but maybe I took
Oh,
that too literal.
during that time, in that ritual, the one that's called the title, how Belial killed me. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's
Whenever
what
I
I'm
went through
talking about.
that, it was called the shaman's death, and yeah, you're in a
Okay.
state of panic and anxiety for months, and you can either overcome that or you can succumb to that and die.
Right. And so my view, I was down and myself, and I see this black void, this abyss, I'm in it, and really down. And then I came across, you might also want to write this down, just whatever, because
Well,
I'm
it's being
crazy.
recorded.
Okay, yeah. Simone Weil, so that's Weil. Why is God not here? Why are we left alone? Father, why have you forsaken me? Why are we fucked? Why are we alone? God is so, in my view, God is so powerful and overwhelming. There is no separation. If he was with us, would be absorbed and destroyed as individuals. Because he loves us, he creates a space. He carves out. So I see that missing piece as a sign of God's love, not abandonment. So imagine like your dad worked on a submarine and got radiated. Where's daddy? He's not here because he loves us. Because if he was here, we'd all be dead. That's my view of God, is sitting back with that darkness, that presence. Now, I just want to move. We'll go back to this, but this kind of connects to the cutting and you guys, because I think you're all possessed and not doing it yourselves. And I'll go back to that facility stuff. Um, Empire. What you said, Jesus was one of the greatest, if he existed, one of the greatest black magicians.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but I
yeah.
think
We're
what you're
we're
missing
all
is that
down with Jesus, man.
empire works by force and violence. I want this. I'm going to use force and violence to get it. Jesus didn't do that. He used weakness and love to win in the end. Now,
And this is the same
cutting,
Jesus that's going to destroy the world when he comes back.
no, that's your interpretation.
That's what it says. That Jesus is going to destroy the world when he returns by fire.
The world, as in empire, the system of force and violence. Destroy that world. Now, your paradigm, all your magic is just, to me, boring empire. You cut yourself, that's force and violence to get what
I
you
don't
want.
cut myself.
You prick yourself, you damage yourself. And yeah, okay, minimally, you know.
I mean, yeah,
It's
the
so
same as
minimal.
everybody that has to take their blood sugar every day, you know, a finger prick to trace over a sigil. If I need a large amount of blood, then I actually take blood out. You know, I've actually went to school, multiple schools, to learn how to do this. Yeah, I'm a registered National Registry EMT, combat lifesaver, infantryman, all that good stuff. Like, if I need
Right.
more than 13 or 14 drops of blood, then I take blood out of my arm with a hypodermic needle. I've done this in
It's
person
still
with the
here. You've
wedding. We
got
don't
these
cut ourselves.
excuses. To me, it's fine. Yes, it's minimal, but you're still causing violence and force to get what
A
you
finger
want.
prick
You
is
are part of
violence.
empire. You're not outside of it. You're just like these CEOs smashing people, like the army crushing people. It's the emperors use force and will. Jesus didn't do that. If he's one of the
What do you
greatest, why
mean
don't you
by
be
the
more like
army
him?
crushing people?
Hmm?
You said we're just like the army crushing people.
You're in that paradigm, using force and violence to get what I want. That is empire. Using weakness, winning with weakness. That's magic. That's
Nobody
special. You
wins
guys
with
aren't doing anything
weakness.
special. Don't kid yourself.
Do you
Nothing
think
different.
Jesus Christ was a weakling?
God is weak. God doesn't win. Weak in terms of in contradistinction to empire. He died. He gave up. He let them kill him. But in the
What do you
end, what
mean when you
happened?
say God? Are you referring to Jesus or something else?
All right. I mean, that's a huge question, right? But
I mean, it's a simple question to me. Like, what is God to
well,
you?
everything seems a bit too simple for you, I think. God is beyond words. So what I do is try to grasp. I mean, when something is so beyond you and so saturated that it would destroy you if you even were within the same universe, and you become a living God, you don't know what God is then. You can't even approach it. It would just, yourself would be annihilated. That's how big it is. Maybe the closest for you would be Abraxas, and
Who's
that's what Nicholas
Abraxas?
Schreck. Huh?
Who's Abraxas?
Abraxas. You know Abraxas.
Nope.
Okay.
Who's Abraxas?
Well,
I mean, I've watched Supernatural, and there's a character on Supernatural they call Abraxas, but other than that, I don't know Abraxas.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's sort of a Gnostic term, I believe. It's the unnameable. Like Abraxas isn't his name, but that's what you would. I'm trying to find an occult term that sort of relates the what's beyond human comprehension and words, and you want me to use words to describe that. So I'm using paradox, and I'm trying to hint at what that could be to be as honest as possible about it without limiting it. And yeah, so that's when things stop making sense, when you get paradox and contradiction, that means we're getting closer to the truth. All this,
What is
I've
the
got this laid
truth?
out, I know this and this and this. That's fucking bullshit. You
What is
guys aren't
what's
even
bullshit
close.
and what's the truth?
Hmm?
What is bullshit and what is the truth?
Well, I think that you guys have more of a brand and a marketing than actual difficult questions. And when those difficult questions come, you group together like a pack of wolves and attack. I don't know how old you
We're
are.
not a coven. We're not a cult. We're not an organization at all. Become a Living God is a publishing company. I've published some shit through there. I've sold some rituals through Become a Living God. But like, I mean, I've met E.A. Coedding in person, but as far as everybody else that's affiliated with Become a Living God, we've never congregated in person and done anything. We're not a cult. We don't have
Well,
we don't have followers. Nothing.
yeah, I said some meany things to Behemoth X. Okay. And then he
Yeah,
posts
you
something on
called
his
him an
Facebook.
idiot. You called him a fucking loser, an imbecile, a
No, he
moron.
called me
I
a
mean, it
loser.
goes on. And I personally, like, people talk shit about me once in a while. It doesn't happen that often, surprisingly. Like, I'm jealous of EA and Behemoth X because they get so much hate and attention and I don't. But very few people talk shit about me. And if and when they do, I won't stick up for myself, but I absolutely will stick up for my brothers. And the only two brothers I have in this world are Behemoth X and EA Coetting. And I absolutely will stick up for Belial, who you disrespectingly refer to as Mr. Naughty Pants in most of your videos that you posted about us. So yeah,
Yeah.
I will stick up for those three things. And so far, you've not given me one example of what you could have a moral confrontation with any of us about. None of us have ever told anyone to cut themselves. None of us have ever told anyone to kill anyone. We are practicing ritual magic and giving everyone who is willing to practice our brand of magic the tools in order to manifest their life in the way that they desire to manifest it. And if you look at Behemoth X, he is one of the most solid, awesome, fucking, like, just solid, decent men that I have ever fucking known in my life. EA Coetting, most solid, decent brother that I've ever had in my life. And any time that my ass has been in a pickle, which it has been multiple times, and it's been made publicly, the first person to call me was Behemoth X. The second person to call me was EA Coetting. Hey, brother, what do you need? You need money. You need this. You need that. You need a place to go. You need a place to stay. These are fucking hard, solid family men. Behemoth X, beautiful wife, beautiful children, beautiful home. The dude has everything. He is a living prime example of what he is teaching. He is trying to teach people how to obtain what he has already obtained for himself, which is a beautiful family and home life and a beautiful existence, a peaceful, beautiful existence of abundance in this physical plane. So for you to get on here and make not one but three videos just slamming this guy's fucking name into the ground, calling him names, on and on and on, disrespecting Belial, disrespecting EA Coetting, I can't fucking believe, from where I'm sitting, I'm like, this dude right here, he's either got a fucking pair of balls on him that are bigger than a bison, or he's fucking stupid. So which is it?
Could be both.
Both.
I hear, I get what you're saying, and I understand that what you saw as disrespect.
It is disrespect. You're name
Okay.
calling.
Can I?
That's blatant
You just went
disrespect.
on for 5 minutes about how great your friends are. Can I give my view?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. I was frustrated that someone that talented as Behemoth X is continuing after those murders, whether he had people, whatever. My wife is a psych nurse. We both of us have gone through some depression. I'm talking you and me. I thought people were weak and just couldn't deal with shit, and their mind was weak. You can't control it. Sometimes shit happens, and there's a lot of, oh, he might relapse to drugs. My heart is going out to that one kid, the one. You don't have to say cut yourself. If you keep showing that and you're getting power and views and this wonderful life you're describing, that little fuckwit is gonna start cutting. Like maybe he's cut before, and you're an EMT. You can do your own fucking research. There is a connection between self-cutting and suicide. All I'm asking for is, since those murders, I never thought much about it, but then I'm like, oh, we got to be really careful here with this blood stuff. And then I rarely look at your guys' content or whatever. I'm kind of anti-occult now, so I was looking at stuff, and Behemoth X made me mad.
What? Okay.
Coetting had
Why
nothing.
did he
The guy
make
had
you
a couple.
mad?
Yeah, he had a couple books, and he had nothing to do with it. And in the same video, advocating, or in the same channel, getting sigils by cutting and blood, that together, after all this pain, I was like, you know what? This guy is a fucking idiot. He doesn't get it, or he doesn't care. That's where I was coming from. Now, I shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, I'll tell you one thing.
So are you
I kind of did
backtracking
that
right now? Or are you willing to issue a public apology for slamming their names into the dirt?
Yes, because that was more empire. That's force against people. That's what I did, was force and violence. At the same time, secretly, what I was really trying to do was to pop this guy in the nose a little bit to show you don't have to look up to him. You can. He's just a man. He's not gonna,
Well, yeah,
he's
Jesus
not
was just
a
a
cult
man.
figure. Jesus was just a man. I don't think just a man. I think, there was. You want to compare Behemoth X to Jesus? You go
Oh,
ahead.
absolutely not. I'm not comparing the two whatsoever.
Okay, so what's your point?
My point is what's your point? Why have you made like why have you gone to such a great effort to run these guys' names into the ground? Based on what? Based on
I
what?
don't
None
think
of
I
us have ever
have.
told anyone to cut themselves. None of us have ever told anyone to kill themselves or someone else.
You're really parsing your language. You're saying you're not cutting yourself because you're using a little lancet, right? You're all right. Drawing blood. How's that? Drawing blood.
Okay, using a
Using
lancet
blood.
versus cutting your arm is a safe way of drawing blood, which
So
these
Behemoth X
rituals.
isn't doing it safe?
No, he's doing what he chooses to do. He's not telling anyone else to do what he's doing.
You're an EMT. What happens when a kid, suicide, who just quit cutting himself, is into the occult? Now, heavy metal music, people who listen to that have a 30 to 70% more chance of having suicidal thoughts
What
than any
about
other
rap
music.
music? Do they have a 30-40% more chance of robbing a gas station or a liquor store?
I don't know that research.
Okay, you
It's
realize
possible.
that every single religion out there, other than Christianity, like pretty much all the religions that brown people practice, like Haitian Vodun, like all the African and South American religions, they all practice bloodletting. They all practice animal sacrifice. Some of them even still practice human sacrifice in the darkest points of Africa. Like, why aren't you going after them? Like, we're telling people, yeah, use blood to blood your sigil, prick your finger, don't cut yourself. But you got
You're
these
not doing
motherfuckers
that.
skewering their faces with these long spikes and elongating their necks and shit. Like, are they all
Because
evil too?
my connection is through Western modern occultism, through the Temple of Set, Aleister Crowley, Anton LaVey. That's my experience level. And then I see you guys, and I think you're all full of shit. And so I
Okay.
am giving a voice to say, hey, don't do this. It's in combination with you're attracting kids outside of voodoo or this or that without that actual tradition to possibly trigger self-cutting. You can do that. There's no way around it, JS. And you don't. That's okay. Just
we
say,
can.
I don't give a fuck about those kids. Just say it. I don't give a fuck about those kids that might get by their own whatever get triggered and start self-cutting from
No,
looking at Behemoth
I
X.
will say it. I don't give a fuck about any idiot that decides to do something stupid in the name of ideology or
JS,
religion.
you were
No,
almost suicide. There's a phenomenon for people who survive suicide where they think because I survived it, everyone's as tough as me, and they
if
don't give
you
a fuck about
survived
anybody else.
suicide, then you didn't try hard enough.
Exactly. That's you. That's empire. You're just as bad as the bully down the street. You're just as bad as any emperor.
How?
Jesus and my magic presents weakness, wins through weakness. That's the true magic. You're hurting people.
How is
You don't
weakness a
care.
good
You think
thing?
that you're a tough guy. You think you're a tough guy. You were real tough.
Absolutely not. I was an
Well, then,
infantryman.
so these kids can just die because they're not as strong as you? How dare you?
What are you
You're an
talking about? These
EMT?
kids can just die. What do you mean?
That's what you just said. That if you're not tough enough and you still lived, so you didn't do it right.
What did I really say?
That's what you just said.
If you attempted suicide and you survived, then you didn't try hard enough. That's an observation.
Thank you for that. Yeah,
You're welcome.
that's not cool, man.
Suicide's not cool, period, and we've never encouraged suicide in any way.
Well, as someone who's been suicidal multiple times, as you have,
I
why don't you
haven't
have
been
more compassion for
suicidal.
these people and just say, I do use some blood in rituals. I'm not going to show it. That might trigger people. Behemoth X, let's tone this down just for
Okay,
those.
I
Yeah,
perform rituals. Do you know what I do in my rituals?
I've seen several hours now.
I chop the heads off roosters during my rituals.
Yeah.
And I prick my finger and trace over the sigil of the demon or the angel that I'm working with before I chop the head off a sacrifice and spill the blood on top of that sacrifice before placing it into the fire. In no way does that encourage anyone to harm themselves or commit murder or commit suicide.
I tend to agree with that, but I would say that that is just another form of empire. You're not special. You're
What
just as
does
bad as all
empire
these
mean?
fuckers.
What do
Hmm?
you mean another form of empire?
You're using force and violence to get what you want through magic by harming an animal.
Do you eat meat?
Yeah, not for magic, not to get what I
Okay, then
want.
shut the fuck up about animal
No,
sacrifice.
no, it's not the same. You're using that to magically, whether it works or not, to get
Yeah,
what you
the
want.
difference
I'm
is
I'm
I'm
using
not
that to
wasting the
survive.
life force and the blood. I am sacrificing my dinner in a ritual fashion that gives praise and honor and respect to that sacrifice. All right?
Tell that
Like
to
when
the
you,
chicken.
huh?
I said, tell that to the chicken. Look, it is a form
You
of
tell
violence
that to
and
the
force.
chicken you buy in the grocery store that are killed in slaughterhouses like in an inhumane way.
All right. I am not a vegetarian. I am
I
not against
yeah.
killing animals to survive for my body.
But
I'm
you're
not.
against killing animals to feed the gods?
Yes,
So you
that's
think that
bullshit.
I'm
It's not
morally.
gods. They're demons. They're not fucking gods.
Some of them are
Don't you get
angels. Some of
anything?
them are demons. Some of them are gods. Some of them are jinn. There's differences.
Yeah, from my view, um, uh, demons stem from, you can create them yourself through obsession,
You can't
and they
create a
actually
demon. You can
no.
create an
Well,
egregor, an astral egregor, a
no,
tulpa. You
in
can create that.
Deuteronomy, in the
What?
Bible, idols became demonic through actual worship.
No,
That I,
idols were demonized in the Bible. But let's talk about what a demon is. Demons are supposed to be the spirits of the Nephilim. The whenever the angels, the 200 watchers came to earth and bred with human women and created giants, and then the flood came and killed all those giants. Those spirits are what became the demonic entities like Oya, son of Shemyaza. Okay, and they're very real. Like, I mean, like you were an occultist. You've supposedly done rituals with these entities, and now you're going to turn your back against them and disrespect someone like Belial by calling them Mr. Naughty Pants? Are you fucking crazy? I'm not trying to be ugly or belligerent here. I'm just saying, like, you got to have a serious pair of balls on you to disrespect Belial. Fuck me, fuck Behemoth X, fuck EA Coedding. You're talking about this guy. You're talking about Belial calling him Mr. Naughty Pants. That takes balls, a huge pair of balls, either that or a serious amount of stupidity. So which is it?
right.
Because you
Oh,
posted a video saying Belial is real. After you posted videos saying Belial's not real, he's made up. Then you posted a video saying Belial is real, and I beat him. Okay, like I promise you, you did not do battle with Belial. And why would he do battle with you? What's going on here?
okay. Here, not to promote Lantern Bridge. Great channel. Check it
Promote
out.
all you want.
I just released a video on this very subject. So there's three different ways, at least according to the Bible, take it as you will, that demons were created. Yes, how you mentioned the giants, and then they were destroyed by the flood, their spirits. Also, it is mentioned in Deuteronomy building idols and putting that power into them creates what the ancient Israelites called demons. I think you're calling it an egregore. It's a force that has influence and maybe
An
even a
egregore is something that is created by a black magician. If I make an idol and give it a name and a description, and I feed that idol energy and power, blood sacrifice, all these things, and it will eventually become
exactly.
conscious and become
Yes,
corporeal to the point
that's the
where I
same.
can utilize it in ritual magic in order to accomplish something on the physical world. I mean, that's all us magicians are trying to do, is create action at a distance. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. And the military is obsessed with this shit. They're obsessed
Yeah,
with radionics. They're obsessed with
exactly. The
psychic,
military
remote
is
viewing.
obsessed with the shit that I do because I do empire, just like them. Exactly.
What
And
do
the
you
other form
do?
of demon, huh?
What do you do? Because you sound like an occultist that's turned Christian and is advocating against demons and the occult. So exactly how do you identify yourself? What are you?
Uh, I've actually been thinking about how, I don't have a group. I don't have a little sub tribe that who's backing me. Nobody. I don't have an easily branded or marketable thought because it's very complex. Um, but I would say I've decided, you know what? I do need some branding. I need to learn from you. Maybe you can consult with me on how to
Me?
get my ideas out. Yeah. Uh, uh, I just say outsider Catholicism.
What's outside of Catholicism?
Kind of what I do.
What do you? I'm not being a smartass here. Like
No, no.
genuinely,
Oh,
what
okay.
do you do?
Yeah. So what got me was, so Zizek says that because I wanted to become a Buddhist. I wanted, all right.
A
My
Buddhist?
son became very ill in China and had to have an emergency operation. He could have died, and he was with his aunt in China. His parents were here in Australia. He's alone. I'm looking at this kid, tears welling in his eyes, and I don't know if I'm going to see him again. And I've got 30 years plus experience in the occult, doing rituals, pushing the boundaries, looking for the truth, encountering the.
And so,
And I
what did
looked
you
at
not
that
find
boy.
it? Is that why you went back to Christianity? Like, what's going on? You've been studying the occult for 30 years, and now you're advocating against it with a cross in your
Mhm.
background.
Can I finish and maybe we'll get to
Yeah.
it?
Okay. Sorry.
So I know it's okay. And I reached down, and I'm sorry for me and people like Nicholas Schreck. It all just fucking collapsed. There was nothing real there for me to actually do anything important that wasn't selfish, that wasn't power. And I got a little boy here, and that's when this. Just let me speak. Just let me finish because
Okay.
this is a big life thing, and I put it on my channel if you want to review.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Right.
that's when that darkness that maybe you've encountered and my magic went away. I took some consultations with Nicholas Schreck, who's a strong Buddhist. What's great about him, he's a former Satanist and black magician, and he worships Set currently with his Buddhism. So he's great for people like us to speak with because he gets it. I was too fucked up to do. And then he said, go to a doctor, Brad. And I had
What kind of
extreme
doctor?
depression, not suicidal. Um, and against some of his views, I did take some medication. Worst decision I ever made. And finally, I came across the thought that darkness, that emptiness, isn't because God left us, took us. It's because He can't be here, or we'd be destroyed. Now, um, Christianity is the only way to approach is the only religion where God dies. Now, don't bring up, oh, this God died and that God died. Divinity itself, the big other that we compare ourselves to and define ourselves in Lacanian theory, you need an other, something big, the big daddy, to put yourself in place. When that collapses, we have nothing left and we flounder. I think you encountered some of that. But what I did was able to see that and go, okay, I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to dive into it in a suicide. I'm going to live with that presence as a form of love for us in the universe. And God's gone, atheistic in that view, but I can make God in a, not a being, not a person, an event between people, the Holy Spirit. So when you're kind to the stranger, which is weak and dumb, oh, I'll be kind to you, all right, stranger. You're not in my tribe, I'll slice your throat. Fuck you, because you're a risk to my tribe. Jesus taught kindness to the stranger, communion, community, which a lot of you are doing. And when you ganged up on me, that's a kind of a form of it.
I'll stop you right there. Who ganged up on you?
After Behemoth X posted my video and kind of, my comments were up, my friend, up for weeks. And then it just became personal attack. No one talking about cutting, which is what I wanted. I'm like, well, this is just pointless. So then I turned them off because your group, like 20 at once.
Group. We're not a cult. We're not a group.
You're not a group.
No, we're not.
It kind of looks like one.
Like
it does look like. Okay.
Who? Me, EA Quitting, and Behemoth X? We're a group.
I think Timothy Donahue is the real head. Look at the guy.
Timothy Donahue owns the publishing company called Become a Living God. That's it.
And he came up with the term Become a Living God. I think he needed a face, an EA co-editing. So he used him. And you guys are under, there's a definite pyramid.
They're partners. They're co-founders. They both founded Become a Living God.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's
from what I've seen, and
it's a publishing company.
Yeah.
We don't congregate.
My guess, and I could be wrong.
We don't recruit people. We don't congregate. We don't recruit angsty teenagers. True. We don't do anything.
No, there's partnering. You can get benefits by partnering, becoming a partner, and I think
we collaborate.
Several people collaborating together for the same idea, but we're not a group. Come on, man, get real. You're a fucking group. Admit it.
Okay, well, define group.
You're just like, hey,
you're talking about a handful of occultists that don't even know each other that have all published shit through Become a Living God, which is just a publishing company, bro. We're not a group. Right. We're not a cult. We're not a coven. Nothing like that.
All right.
We don't congregate.
At least I'm taking you guys seriously. Hey, I'm taking you fuckers seriously. I think you are working with demons. We
are working with demons quite openly.
We agree.
We've never denied that. We're working with demons, working with angels, working with ancient gods, working with jinn, working with anything that we can possibly work with in order to tap into this esoteric knowledge and personal power.
Right. Now, let's take one step back. I personally believe, from the research I've done and my background, I think that there is some demonic activity for sure going on. And I think you guys are being used. I think you're possessed, and it's using you to reach through YouTube and other platforms and books to get people to go really astray, and more empire, more force and violence.
Astray and empire.
To love and weakness.
You keep saying empire. What does that mean? Go more empire. Go astray, go empire.
As I said, empire is how this world works. Force and violence to get what we want. So from a caveman with a rock bashing someone's head in, to a king, to a Caesar, to a CEO smashing the workers to make profit, use people, hurt people for my money, my selfishness, my wealth.
Who do we hurt, though?
You hurt yourselves.
Who are we hurting? Ourselves?
You're hurting yourselves.
How?
And spiritually, you're possessed. I hope you get help and get that exercised. You're spreading things that I mean, here, I know you don't accept this, but those two sisters are dead. And how many people have started cutting because they were influenced by your books?
I don't know anyone that started cutting.
You don't know anyone, but it's a fact that when people just hear about cutting and they used to cut, that can trigger them. It is a fact that people into the heavy metal death metal scene have more suicidal and self-harm thoughts.
Yeah, none of us are musicians.
So there must be, with all your thousands and thousands of subscribers across all these bald platforms, there is a percentage of people that you don't know about that might be cutting themselves. If there's a possibility, why is it worth this? Just stop showing it. Use a euphemism or whatever. I really am sincerely concerned about these kids. I know.
What kids?
That's all I'm asking.
All of our content is 18 and up. And
no kid can get around that.
None of us have ever told anyone to cut themselves.
And no kid looks at porn.
Well, I mean, that's up to them.
Come on, get real, man.
All right, let me ask you this. All right, change the subject here. Jump on a brief different subject. Let's talk about Judaism. Let's talk about the Jews. Can we do that? Two bald white guys.
I'm not a Jew. I'm not an expert.
Huh?
I'm not a Jew. I'm not an expert on that.
Okay, well, let me tell you what they do to newborn baby boys in the Judaism in the Jewish household.
I know.
They have a rabbi come over and snip the tip off that baby boy's dick, and then the rabbi, in front of the parents and the whole family, puts that little boy's little baby penis in his mouth and sucks on it until it stops bleeding. Do you think that's okay as an advocate for the Abrahamic religions?
I don't know if that's true. I haven't heard that in modern practice.
I've researched it immensely. Okay. It's still happening. Rabbis, when they perform a circumcision on a newborn baby boy, they chop the foreskin off without giving it any anesthetics, and then the rabbi puts the penis in his mouth and sucks on it until the blood stops running. Is that okay?
Yeah. I don't think that, from just going off of what you're saying, I would say that doesn't sound okay to me. I don't know.
Have you ever heard of a Satanist doing something like that? Because if a bunch of Satanists were snipping genitals off newborn infants and drinking the blood from those genitals, don't you think that the whole world would be in an uproar?
Well, this is whataboutism. I'm here to discuss your group. Whataboutism. Like, what about them? They're doing it. And what about them? I think it's all horrible. And Jesus was against all of it.
Okay. Was Jesus a black magician?
By your terms, in a way, I can see where you're going with.
By any terms, not my terms.
Well, how do you define black magician?
Okay, I define a black magician as by someone who wields the powers and forces of nature and magic and reality to create change in his reality based on what that change is desired to be by him. All right, and so Jesus, him or her, Jesus, he raised the dead. He made the blind man see. Like, he turned water into wine. Like, Moses parted the Red Seas and then collapsed them on top of a fucking Egyptian army, killing thousands of people. Like, look at research Genghis Khan. You're throwing up devil horns, but you're sitting here as a Christian, like debating against everything that these guys actually did. If Jesus was alive today, he hung out with thieves and prostitutes. Like, thieves, murders, and prostitutes. If Jesus was alive today, he'd be riding a fucking Harley. He'd be carrying a gun. He'd be speaking out against authority, just like he did 2,000 years ago if he actually existed. He spoke out against tyranny. He spoke out against authority.
Exactly.
He was the ultimate fucking rebel, and they ultimately killed him for it. Now, they built a whole religion around his sacrifice, promoting human sacrifice. All right, in the Catholic Mass, it's drinking the blood, eating the flesh of Jesus Christ. In the Jewish fucking religion, like, they're chopping little boys' dicks off and drinking the blood out of it. Like, if you have a problem with anything, it should be that.
Why can't I have problems with that and you? Am I limited?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
My point is,
I never brought it up.
Behemoth X has never told anyone to cut themselves or harm anyone else.
Kids imitate
EA
what
has never told anyone to do
you don't
that.
Have to say
I've never told anyone to do that.
All right, that's all right.
Admit
Talking
that.
About balls.
Admit to me right now that none of us have ever told anyone to cut themselves. You've watched our content. Have we ever
You
told
have
anyone to
said
hurt themselves?
the most powerful form of magic is blood magic.
It's one of them. There's
No,
blood
you said that
magic,
is
there's
the most
sex
powerful.
magic, and
And
there's
until I get
sacrificial
a more
magic.
powerful, so you're teaching, so people will go, okay, I want to do magic. Did you say, take a knife and cut your fucking, stab it through your hand, fucker? Did you say that? No, you don't need to. You want to do magic like me, be a cool guy? What do you think? You go by, people go by what they see. You're lead by example, not words. Don't hit people. Don't ever hit people. I mean, they see you're glorifying taking blood. Your partners do cut themselves. So you're criticizing Behemoth X, who cuts
Blood is
himself.
just a big part of ritual magic, just like it is Christian ritual magic.
No, that's your thing. And it's not even your thing. Your demons are making you think you can't do magic without that.
No, we
It's
can do
not.
magic without letting blood. We can do magic without chopping the head off roosters. Those are techniques that are used to amplify ritual magic, and that's why I do it. Like I said, I've performed more ritual blood sacrifices than probably anybody alive today. And you've never ever made a video talking shit about me doing that, and that's what makes my butt hurt.
I want to
Do
sincerely
I not have
apologize
enough
for that.
subscribers for you to talk shit about?
I ran across Behemoth X because I'm interested in video art like Kenneth Anger and things like that. And your channel just didn't happen to come up. So I greatly apologize. But believe me, I will be doing a whole video about you after this.
Please do.
Your wish has been granted. So here, look, you know, I could be a dick about this even worse. I'm taking
I mean,
you as what
you're
you're saying.
welcome to. This is a safe space, brother. Be a
All
dick.
right. I mean, to be honest, I mean, if you're possessed, no one should trust anything you say. And if you're not possessed and a fraud, you're a liar. So no one should trust what you say.
Why do you have to be possessed in order to not be a fraud?
Well, you're saying you're possessed,
I
that
didn't
you've
say
been
that.
possessed. Well,
I've
you were
undergone
possessed.
I've undergone possession during rituals.
Right. And my view is that they don't leave. You think they're gone. I
I
think they're
don't
still
want
all
them
in
to
all of you.
leave. My
Huh?
goal in undergoing possession with an entity like Belial, I don't want them to leave.
Right. So who am I talking to?
You're talking to me.
And who's that? With his DNA changed by mystical beings.
JS motherfucking Garrett, brother.
Yeah. And what part is Belial?
You know, that's a good question.
You don't know yourself?
I would say that I've integrated with Belial as much as a human being possibly can in order to help me bring about and unlock the best parts of myself. It does not mean that you are sitting here talking to Belial. I have a sigil tattooed on my back. All right. Like it's not about giving up your body and allowing something else to take control of you to influence the world to cut themselves. Like we could really care less if people are cutting themselves or not. We're certainly not encouraging it, but people absolutely do it. And most of the people that cut themselves are not occultists. They're angsty high school kids that are cutting for attention. Like it has nothing to do with anything that we're doing. Yeah, we use
Oh,
blood
all right, wait
in our
now.
rituals.
People cut themselves, and it's not just to get attention. Like, mental illness? I just feel that here. Let's be real and not be here.
Let's be real.
I'm being out here, man. People are, I'm reading some of the comments here. Deep down, my heart, as a father, on this Father's Day, I'm thinking of that kid,
What kid?
that's been abused and thinks
What
he's
kid?
worthless. Hmm?
What kid?
There are kids out there that are abused, feel worthless, and start cutting themselves. They look for empowerment. Maybe the person abusing them is Christian, supposedly.
Most of
And
the time.
so, what's that?
Most of the time.
I would say most. And so they get into heavy metal. They go to Behemoth X's channel, and they see that power and they feel it. They get inspired and they start cutting, but maybe the magic doesn't quite work for them or something goes wrong and it starts becoming an obsession. And it is a fact. Cutting can lead to suicide. That is a fact, my friend. And I think all I just am asking for, and why the anger and the name calling, which I regret.
Yeah, you were a belligerent. Can I speak freely here?
It's your channel.
Okay, well, yeah, it's my channel. I'm trying to be respectful to you, but
I understand. I'm a dick.
You were an absolute belligerent asshole to Behemoth X and EA Coetting. Do you admit that? And so sitting here as two gentlemen discussing this matter in a civilized way, like, do you not feel like you should maybe issue an apology to them for that, for name calling him? Do you think you misjudged them in any way? Do you think maybe you blame them for things that really weren't blameworthy? Like, do you have any respect for these men?
At that moment, I didn't. I admit that. As human being, I dehumanized them a bit, and I apologize for that. The concern and like outrage you have that I dared say that, I have that for people that can actually kill themselves. Yeah, I insulted two adults. Okay, sorry. But have some of that anger and outrage for the possibility of those kids or adults even getting triggered by this, and just say, hey guys, let's tone this down. We can do it ourselves or in private or whatever, but throwing this out there, which I do believe is against YouTube services.
It's actually not. Like, have you seen the videos where you got these rednecks fucking shooting squirrels and blowing up pigs and all this other stuff on YouTube?
I think that
like that stuff's YouTube's a free for all when it comes to that.
And hey, let's say all these channels get taken down, they'll just pop up again with the same content. I'm just asking for some care about people with mental illness getting triggered by blood and cutting.
Okay,
and
well,
combining that with feelings of power, that's an attractive cocktail.
What?
That's an attractive cocktail when you feel powerless. You're a traumatized person with no power in the real world, so you seek it through magic maybe, and then add cutting on top of it, and you're into heavy metal music. I mean, it's just like, to me, it almost looks planned on some level.
Right. Well, most people that look to the occult practices, ritual magic, things like that, they're people that have been victimized. Most of them have been abused sexually as children. I'm one of the only people that I know in the occult field that was not abused sexually. However, I was abused in just about every other kind of way you can think of by my mother. And I won't get into that. But we're trying to give people the keys to personal power so that they can become strong and never become victims again, because that's what every single person that comes to the occult world looking for, is a way to empower themselves not to become a fucking victim. All right, and so if a ritual calls for cutting, whoop-de fucking do. Like, we're not telling people to do that. Like, me personally, if I find a ritual in a book and it calls for me to slit my hand, then I'm going to sit there and go, okay, I don't really want to cut myself, but that's what this ritual instruction says. So it's my choice as an adult whether or not I go through with that and do that. But we're not telling or encouraging anybody else to do that. I don't know if you saw that video where I skewer my fucking shoulder with a needle like that long. Did you see that?
No, I missed that one.
Oh, okay. It's titled "Do Not Try This at Home."
Okay.
I straight up say, do not do this. Okay. And then I take a needle that's about 10 inches long and I shove it through my shoulder under a state of possession, in this side, out the back side, and then pull it out. No blood. I'm like, no blood whatsoever, just 2 holes. This is what you can do under possession. I was under full possession with Raphael. I've got his sigil tattooed right there on my body. I absolutely am capable of doing something like that and demonstrating that. All right. I'm not encouraging anyone else to do that. It straight up says, do not try this at home. None of us have ever told anyone to cut themselves. We sure as fuck never encouraged anyone to kill anybody. And we all have one rule. You talk about ethics a lot. Okay, fuck ethics. Fuck ethics. We have one rule. That's that you don't fuck with kids. All right. We don't curse kids. We don't fuck with kids. And the only people you see fucking with kids are Christians, Catholics, and Muslims. I mean, fucking dude, I've been to the Middle East. I'm a soldier, dude. I'm a veteran. I've been to the nastiest parts of the world. I've seen what they do to women and children over there. If you want to advocate for something, you should advocate against that shit. Because whenever you see a fucking troop of Hajis marching across the desert with a bunch of little kids carrying AK-47s, there's one little boy in the very back of the line with long hair that they've dyed orange or dyed red. That's the
I've heard
little
of it.
boy
Yeah,
that they take turns on at night.
I know. I
Okay,
know.
you know that shit, but you're more concerned with Behemoth X cutting his shoulder in a ritual than you are that shit going on. All right. The ritual
No.
magic that we do to help people, it's all geared around helping people like that. Kids that are being victimized, like E.A. Quetting, Joseph Nunn, they're the most solid fucking guys that I know. And I guarantee you, if you met them in person and shook their hands, you might hear a crunch because they are so fucking hard, man. Like these are solid fucking dudes. You owe them both an apology. You don't owe me an apology. I thank you for coming on and doing this live with me, but you are really bad mouthing two of the best guys that you could ever possibly meet in person.
Again, there's a lot of passion by what you're saying. I'm just as I do believe that they are hurting people, and there's potential to hurt people, and it's irresponsible. Name calling, I think that there is a people looking up to these people too much. And yes, I exaggerated a bit to knock them off their, say, hey, you know what? You don't have to go along with this. They're not, I mean, nothing's going to happen to me. I think that they are exploiting. I think it's a lot of it's show for money. I think they're
None of
part of
us for
that
show.
hunger. Well,
Dude, none of us
I
are
think
going to get rich doing what we do. You don't get famous working in the occult field. You don't get famous working in the shadows. If we wanted to be famous, then we would put on fucking white suits and hats and pretend to be Christian televangelists. All right. We are simply trying to give people the tools that they need in order to overcome their shitty life situations in order to become empowered and not be victims
And
anymore.
I think they will get help, and it will empower them temporarily. But when the shit hits the fan, it will collapse. That is
How
my
so?
opinion.
What do you mean when they
Same with
shit
you.
hits the fan? Well, when we have World War III, what?
Well, you collapsed like a crouton when the divorce. You needed help. None of this helped you.
I
You
didn't
needed a guy to
collapse
talk.
like a crouton. I
You
went
did.
through a hard fucking divorce. But
Oh
what
yeah,
did
you
I
went through a
do?
divorce. Wow, that's
What did I do?
50% of the
What
divorces. So
I
what?
reached out to my two brothers, Joseph or Behemoth X and EA
Yeah,
Coetting, and asked for help. And they helped me. And what did I do? I
yeah,
put
they
my
helped you,
business
but you
back
couldn't help
together.
yourself.
Huh?
Your Belial couldn't help you. You were in a suicidal alcoholic spiral.
Do
You
you do
This
you
was just a few
think
years
that
ago.
no one ever needs help?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm
No
not saying
matter
I'm
how
hacking
badass of
reality
a black
and I've got
magician you are.
power to influence things beyond the, you don't have any power, mate. It's demons doing it for you, and you're just going more and more deep into illusion. I want you to be empowered by yourself, and that if there's when Behemoth isn't there for you, you don't kill yourself. Sorry, that's what I want for you and the viewers here. You're all in delusion. You're possessed. You're not even free for your own thought. I want
Possessed
you
by
to be
what?
free.
Possessed by what?
Belial.
So Belial's real.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So you posted a video saying that Belial's real and you did battle with him and you won.
Yeah.
So are you willing to raise your left hand here in the presence of Belial's sigil and invite him into your life and give him license to appear and have his way with you?
No. I ask God that all your negativity, all your magic, come to me, and I'll do my best to deal with it.
Do you think we're cursing you?
I don't know if you are. I know I feel I've been attacked by. I feel there has been some negative influence since this began.
By who?
They can do things without your permission, my friend.
Who's they?
The demonic.
Oh, well, yeah, they don't need my permission to do anything.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do feel I have been, have had, maybe I'm wrong, some strange coincidences, synchronicities, things like that, since I started this. And, are some of the people connected to you, doing curses on me? What do you think?
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that because
Of course you wouldn't. And I
we
don't know
don't
either.
we don't curse people for talking shit about us. It'd be like, okay, all right. So just because you have a fucking gun doesn't mean that you can go around and shoot everybody that talks shit about you. Do you really think that any of us would be petty enough to try to curse you or your family just for talking shit
I
about
don't
us
think you
online?
would. I don't
No.
think you would. Would some of the lower level people below you in your hierarchy do it? I think
There is
they.
no hierarchy because we're not a group. We're not an
Dude, it doesn't
organization.
matter. All right, they don't need you. I battle demons. I've been battling demons. I've been encountering demons.
What demons have you battled?
Hmm?
What demons have you battled?
Mainly Asmodeus.
In what sense? How so?
Well, I was a very stupid 13-year-old, and yeah, had some encounters and tried some things with a huge ego, and got smashed, and it wouldn't leave.
Okay.
And I've had to, yeah, until recently. And I never discount that it could come back. Now, you guys talk about your blah, blah, blah. I've had objects from under the bed fling up, swing back, shoot at me across the room when I was a child. Believe it or not, I don't care. I've had stompings during rituals, like a 300-pound man stomping when I was a teenager, and no one's up there, no one's there. Things like
You
that.
experienced poltergeist activity when you were a kid.
Yes.
Yeah, we have that in common. I did too, and that's a big part of why I'm a black magician.
And that's why I got into it, because I wanted to figure out what the fuck this was.
All right. So.
What a conversation. I love I just said, I'm going to be honest with these people. So I do feel, I think you're all possessed. I think you're not doing any magic. I think the demons are doing it all and making you feel like you're part of it. I think their real goal is to hurt people through this empire media, and they're doing a great job. And I just am hoping that you can free yourself. And
Are you like a savior that's trying to save people
I
from
was
our
wondering, I'm like,
influence?
am I this Jesus figure thing? All I did, I said, you know what? I got this crazy fucked up background. God, if I can help anybody, put me in a place where I can speak to a lot of people. They'll listen or they won't. Anyway, thanks for the invite. And the
Are you hanging up? Because I wasn't done with you yet.
No. I just meant I kind of here. I'm not trying to be egotistical about it. I said, here, I do painting. I write novels. I love music. And I said, this, I feel I have led people astray. I am, hi, EA. I was a pussy in that interview. Like, I was cringing about some of the shit he said, and I didn't push back. Your radio, what is it? I don't know anything about it much. Radiodonics or whatever. He starts talking about. Yeah, radionics. And the machines work better unplugged. I mean, just as an interviewer, like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, I mean, this is, and let's go into it. I was afraid to piss off his viewers. I thought maybe I could grow my channel using his clout, being friends with him. And then after all that happened, and you know, I'm pretty sure he was high off his fucking rocker, which is okay, cool. But I found that a bit disrespectful, EA. So, you know, that's where we are. Here, I'm sure overall, you know, nice people. I'm just talking about, I think the self-cutting is dangerous. I don't think it's necessary. And overall, I think it's like I think you're all possessed, and the real goal, the secret goal, is to hurt people through more empire, because that's exactly what you're doing. All the magic, and you'll get results, but they don't. Yeah. Here, you got your girlfriend back. They don't give a fuck about that. They're here to hurt humanity.
How so? I mean, okay. First of all,
they'll every story about demons and the devil, it starts out great. You get what you want. Every mythology, every folklore.
Those are Christian stories that are created. Those are Christian stories that are made up and created to discourage people from working with demons. Do you know what demon means?
That stems back from the
what
Greek
does demon mean?
Well, currently that means a evil spirit, basically.
No, it means teacher. Daemon, demon. Demon is derived from the word daemon. That means teacher. Do you know what angel means? Messenger.
Yeah, messenger of God, like a voice of God, like
the black magician works with both angels and demons. The angels are messengers. They bring you the knowledge, and then the daemons or demons are teachers. They teach you how to employ that knowledge in your life in order to build the type of life that you are trying to build. Any of us, including them, I can speak for them in this case, are trying to give people the tools, knowledge, and potential in order to help themselves not be victims and build the best life possible for them. None of us encourage anyone to cut or kill or do anything. All right. If I cut myself in a ritual, that's my personal prerogative. If I chop the head off a rooster, that's my personal prerogative. We're not telling anyone else to do this. All right. So, do you feel right here and now like maybe you jumped the gun just a little bit in slamming these two guys, Behemoth X and EA Coetting? Because I guarantee you, if you knew either one of them personally, it would change your opinion. Because these are two of the best, most solid guys that I know.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I've heard you've said this multiple times.
Yes.
I don't agree with you. Just because you don't say something, I think by doing it, kids mimic behaviors, not words. So I don't think that's just where we're going to disagree. And I'm never going to agree that, oh, it's all fine. I think that the visual, especially with Behemoth X, who is so fucking good at it.
He is.
Yeah, that's got more influence. Don't cut yourselves. This is how I attain ultimate power, and I'm so badass, blah, blah, blah. Oh, at least it's pixelated. So I don't agree with you. I think you guys are encouraging it, not with words, but by your deeds, by your actions on video. It's mainly, I'm saying, it's not, I'm not saying don't cut yourself. I'm not saying don't teach it in the right platform.
You are saying don't cut yourself.
Well, I don't think you should, but as adults you can. But on YouTube, where
none of our audience is children. Like, it's all 18 and up.
Well, I'm 50 years old. To me, 18-year-old's a baby.
You're 50?
Yeah.
Wow, I had you pegged at like 35. I mean,
Oh, well, thank you. Must be the demon work. It's slowly fade.
So you work with demons to look younger and more supple.
And the balls, you're right. They just really, now they're starting to
supple specimen.
So, look, even here, I'm not. I don't have a psych background. My wife, she does electroconvulsive shock therapy against people's will. They're so fucked
Against
up.
their will?
Yes.
So
You need
what?
to
She
have.
like chains them to a table and shocks them?
Well, she oversees it because it's a last resort in Australia, and it works 30 to 40% of the time when everything else has failed, and you need like three. You need basically a board of psychiatrists to sign off on it because they will kill themselves or kill someone else. They are beyond. And on part time, she does suicide calls at home. So I hear things, and I'm just from my heart, just as a human, okay?
Okay.
I didn't realize how fucking many and how fragile people are. I didn't know that. And you don't know half of it. And now I get the tough guy stuff, and these people need help. And if not for this combination of power seeking from traumatized children to the heavy metal connection, which has been proven they have more suicidal thoughts, to visuals, which are powerful, I feel it's a little irresponsible. Now, do I want you to have no channels and shut up? No. I just wish that you guys would go, you know what? We're beyond this now. Yeah, we do it. Yeah, I'll show it to you personally. You sign this waiver, you're 18, whatever. No problem.
Well, I mean, that's where we're at now. That's where we're at now. You got to be 18
Well,
to
all
be on
that content is still up, and now you are. I got to be honest with you. Okay, am I going to make a big deal out of? I was talking about Behemoth X when he minimized. It's like, oh, he really minimized it. I don't know if you've seen that video, and that's his prerogative. And it did piss me off because I thought after all of this, we're beyond that, and can at least say, hey, maybe now, EA. I never said you're to blame, you motherfucker. Go jump off into the river.
You kind of did say that. You blamed him.
No, I didn't.
You called him names.
I'll be honest with you. I don't recall that. Maybe I called him an idiot or something.
Well, it's your fucking video, bro. Go back and watch it. That's why we're talking right now.
Well, I thought it was mainly Behemoth X, who I said was dumb.
It was
dumb and dumb.
EA.
Yeah. The reason I said that is because of the dumbness, the lack of empathy or being able to see. Either you can't see that if there's a 1% chance that some kid's going to hurt himself or someone else, let's just not do it. And yeah, on YouTube, let's just not do it on YouTube. That's all I was pushing for. Even keep up some of the videos that have that, but you don't go and say, the murderer had a couple books. He had nothing to do with it. And what I said was,
the murderer had nothing to do with any of us.
Yeah. You're his best buddy. You're the best source to be objective about it. We heard you. Maybe, I said, maybe there is a small chance that there's a connection. And some of his writings from the the Baron, whatever the fuck, under the false name from the Nine Angles subgroup, the American version.
Never heard of him.
Well, yeah, if you look that up, he can answer that himself. There was some very blatant language, and I won't go into it. But it's fine. Just own up to it and stop it. It's just continuing on YouTube, I think, is wrong because there's a big chance that the wrong people are gonna to see it.
Who are the
That's
wrong
all
people?
I had to say about it. Here, I'm sorry. I hurt your fucking black sorcerers. Some fucker in Australia called you dumb. I am sorry from the bottom of my heart. It won't ever happen again. You happy now?
Don't be
Meanwhile,
a smart ass.
Stop cutting so that kids don't die.
Don't be a smart ass. Are you apologizing for real?
Is that what this all is about? Okay.
This is just about giving you a chance to state your case for talking shit about
I've done that.
my brothers. And you've already said that you were sorry for being so harsh upon them and calling them names. You've already admitted that none of us have ever told anyone to do harm to themselves or anyone else. So, I mean, really, I guess I'm speaking for all of us here and saying, what the fuck is your real problem, dude?
You're not getting it then.
I guess not.
Yeah. I think that just showing, cutting, or even, implying that that can lead to power, um, is not good and can trigger people with cutting tendencies and hurt them. That's all. And I think you can't argue against it. It is a possibility. And I don't think the value you get of sharing that so explicitly, it's mainly attention grabbing in the form of the video. I think you're sincere in it, even though you're possessed and fucked up. I
You
think you're
think I'm
sincere.
possessed and fucked up?
Well, you are fucked up. I'm just being honest with you. You are, and I've been fucked up. But you've got to unfuck yourself and face reality and get rid of these demons because you're not even autonomous.
Who would you say that I'm possessed by?
Well, probably Belial, your form of Belial. To be honest, I think all this stemmed from Timothy Donahue. He's the head vampire.
Timothy
I'm
has
working
no
my way
idea
up.
that we're doing this right now. Like, he would
No, when I say
probably
Timothy
have told
Donahue,
me not to interview you because he would have told me not to waste my time.
yeah.
Like, Timothy does not, he's not on YouTube. He's
I
not in the
don't know much
public
about
eye.
him.
He does not
I
give a shit at all.
yeah. I just my instincts as a person with this. I think this stems from him and whatever entities or whatnot are associated with him. I've said it. EA co-editing is just to prop up. Have you looked at Timothy? Have you seen his face?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the face of become a living God?
Uh, no, it's the
It's
face.
not. You wouldn't want
It's
that
the
as a.
face of Timothy. And
Mhm.
I'll tell you what, I've said that Behemoth X and EA Coedding are two of the best guys I know. I'll also tell you Timothy is one of the best guys that I know.
Well, the
Yes,
best
I know
guys
him
I know
personally.
are more responsible. So we have
Response,
different levels of who's best guys.
responsible how? Like, who are you saving by making these videos, like name calling and trashing these guys' names into the dirt?
The key isn't name calling. Now, come on. Behemoth,
That's all it's
was
been, is
Behemoth.
name calling. Be
Maybe
honest.
that's all you're hearing, buddy. I'm fighting against people cutting themselves, potentially hurting kids, and you're worried about what name they were called. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? They're
Uh,
big
we
guys. They're
we do not
powerful wizards. Why do they
advocate.
even care?
We don't
Huh?
encourage anyone to cut themselves or hurt kids at
No,
all.
you do. No,
Never
you do.
have. How so?
You do. By
How?
demonstrating it and saying that that leads to power. Don't cut yourself. You have children, right? Yeah?
Yes, I do have
Yeah.
a daughter.
Is it what you say or what you do that matters?
Both.
Both? No.
Yeah.
What you say
What
is
you
bullshit.
say
They watch
and
what
what
you
you
do.
do both matter. They go hand in hand.
Fair enough. I'll give you that. So what are you showing? Cutting. So don't say we don't encourage it. You do encourage it by your action. Can't you
Have
admit
you
that?
have you seen me
Be
cut?
proud. Be proud.
Have you seen me cut?
I've seen you poke, and you just told me you jabbed a needle through your
Yeah, I
fucking.
did. I took a needle like that long and shoved it through my shoulder
Yeah,
and
and when a
didn't
kid
bleed.
tries that and accidentally hits an artery as opposed to avoiding them that you did and think it's magic,
Well,
it's
that's
basic
why the
biology.
title of the video says, "Do not try this at home." Just
Yeah,
like David Blaine or Chris Angel says, "Do not try this at home." It was a
and Pornhub
demonstration.
asks I'm 18 before I jerk off. Yeah,
What'd you
great.
say about jerking off?
Pornhub says, "Are you 18?" And I have to click that. And
Do you watch Pornhub a lot?
hmm?
Pornhub? Do you watch Pornhub?
I've been married for over 10 years. Of course I
So
do.
yeah, you definitely watch some Pornhub.
I'm watching
Yeah.
some porn.
Hey, dude, like I was married for 16 years, and I tell you, after about 10, this arm got a lot bigger than that arm.
Now, speaking of jerking off, Crowley talked about sacrificing children. What he meant was the sperm. And you brought this up. I was curious because when the death throes of an animal, it's dying, is similar to orgasm. Like he believed that energy, it was the energy that mattered, not the actual death of something or the blood. That's euphemism for semen. Um, I mean, let's just look at it. I honestly would think sex magic, at least in my experience through my experiments in chaos magic, I actually would think sex magic is more just stepping away from all this all this, speaking more in general. Haven't you found better results with sex magic anyway?
Okay, first of all, I don't care for Crowley or his teachings or anything
Okay,
that he ever did or promoted.
fair enough.
Crowley was a white magician. He was a degenerate. He was a disgusting motherfucker.
Agreed.
And, he performed the Abramelin rite and then he abandoned it during the middle of it. He bought a house. He bought a fucking mansion to perform the Abramelin rite. And then he abandoned it halfway through it. Every single person that Crowley worked with ended up suffering unimaginably. Half of them spent their life in mental institution. He had how many bastard kids that he didn't take care of? Dude, Crowley was a white magician. I don't give a fuck about Crowley. All right, none of us do.
Well, black,
All
white.
right, he made a good tarot deck, the Thoth deck. That was great.
Well, a woman made that, but based on his ideas, yeah.
Well,
his
it's
art was
based. Yeah, it's got his name tied to it.
My suggestions. I know you all hate me and blah blah blah. This guy's
no, there is no
but,
you all hate me. Okay, I'm sure there's just as many people. Huh?
I glanced every time I glance down at a comment. I'm getting a rush of love here. But my point is,
you have made multiple videos trash mouthing these two guys, and so you got to expect a little bit of backlash if you're going to come on JS Garrett's live stream. Now, the one question I have for you before we go is VK Jahannam. What do you have to say about VK Jahannam?
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar. It's not ringing a bell.
You're not familiar?
VK
Jahannam.
Tell me.
He's a fan of yours. He messaged me and said like ask him about me. So I guess you don't know who that is.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I think recently there was someone who had been going through a lot of trouble, a lot of mental issues, who reached out to me and made some comments, and I encouraged him on some comments recently. Yeah. Don't know beyond that.
Okay. So before we wrap this up, would you say again that you've been a little overzealous in condemning these two men, Behemoth X and EA Coedding? Like maybe if you actually got to know these guys or delved into their work. I mean, you're an ex-occultist, become Christian again, right?
Yeah, outsider Christian.
All right. So were you not able to get the occult practices to work for you? Why would you go back?
I had heaps of success, but as I explained, when my son was facing death, I felt I didn't have a foundation. This Nicholas Trek calls it a DIY. Him and Xena, that's why they became Buddhists, because you need, in their opinions and now mine, when the shit hits the fan, all this occult stuff seems to, at least it did for me and them, collapse, and you need something deeper and stronger. My opinion, not trying to, you take that as you want, but that's what that crisis for me to deal with all that and understand the world when when I faced that and I saw I wasn't strong enough for my son. I didn't have something I could really make. I could see in his eyes, maybe I'm imagining it, that I was saying the words, but I don't know if he deep down I wasn't confident. I'm like, who am I going to pray to? Satan? None of it. Is it real?
What was wrong with your son?
He was in. He needed an emergency appendectomy. If he didn't get it within a few hours, he could die, would explode, and there's a risk of death in the thing. And he's in China alone by himself. So I had to take that, and like an alchemist, I guess. I was fucked up really bad from it. That seeing the
So who did
fragility.
you pray for help? Who did you pray to for help?
I didn't. I couldn't. I didn't have an honest thing to. My deep being knew that these beings and such that I encountered for me in my life, deep down, they weren't right. I tried, and I thought I was on something many times. And like you had poltergeist experience, I thought I was, since that's real, or I wouldn't believe in any of this. I thought that I was connecting to something true and honest and powerful. Yes, powerful. But in the end, for me, it didn't work. In the end, deep down, I didn't believe in it. And I thought I did. But when the shit hit the fan, it just wasn't enough was there. And I had to face that darkness. Father, Father, why have you forsaken me? So I was there on the cross and had to, not that I'm Jesus, we all have our own crosses. And for me, I had to say, God's not here because he loves us. And until I ran across those philosophies, I was pretty messed up. So these very radical theologies helped me to put something together. Like, Christian, I have no interest in what normal everyday Christian would be. And I'm not accepted in the normal churches and such, honestly. But so I had to create, put this together from different philosophies and see it as, this is what Jesus meant. And this is how you deal with that dark, you might call it the abyss.
All right.
God's calling.
Yeah.
Time to
Something's
set
calling.
the alarms. Well, JS, honestly, I'll,
Give me a minute.
yeah, I'll wait.
Fuck. Are you fucking kidding me?
Belial's coming, boy. I hope so. Blah, blah, blah. Just reading some of the comments. I'm not getting the alarm.
Damn. I don't know. My smoke alarm went off there.
Oh no. Here, I do want to address your friends. And EA was kind enough to go on my channel. What I did was wrong. You shouldn't put people down, and that is a form of empire. What I did hypocritically, I see that, and I apologize for that. There's no reason to name call. I do think that one thing you're doing is not very compassionate, and
What one thing?
sparks something with this whole subject here on YouTube. So it's just very specific. Do I care if you're cutting yourself? Whatever. When it's out here, you keep saying we're not telling anybody to cut ourselves. I think by demonstrating, and you've admitted it is words and action. You've at least admitted that. I think it's a lot more action when on a visual medium. My opinion. We will disagree there. You're not dumb. You have great, Behemoth X has great aesthetics. I've learned from that. I appreciate that. I lost my temper. And in the end, my violence resulted in more violence against me with comments that attack me. Yeah, I get it. Let's put that aside.
Comments are a little bit different than violence.
Well, I'm talking super broadly here. Negative. It's not helpful. Um, I I don't want you guys to be. And I wish the best for everybody about it. It's really just one very micro thing that set me off, I guess, because I used to be part of that occult system, and I don't think that, especially after I don't need to rehash the whole hour talk here. I think that here I've just been honest. I think you're all possessed, and I don't think you're totally on your own. Just like if I said you're all drug addicts, and I'm not trying, you're going to get mad. I have sympathy and compassion that you're fucking possessed. I'm sorry. I've encountered that. Nicholas Schreck encountered being possessed, and I know that your whole system is based on this, so it's going to be really hard to leave that, and maybe you shouldn't, but I really do think you should.
Possession is really difficult. Like, what I would call perfect possession is really difficult to obtain. It's something that you have to work for, and it's not something that's going to stay with you forever. It's usually on a period of about 90 days that you undergo possession.
Yeah,
So,
I don't believe that, and that's not how the Catholic Church looks at it. They have tons of experience
the
with
Catholic Church, really? The little boy poking church? Like, seriously, are you going to sit here and cite the Catholic Church?
In terms of experts in exorcism, everybody knows that they're the best.
No, they're not. 85% of the Catholic exorcisms are unsuccessful. Most of the time, the victim dies. And a lot of times, Catholic priest exorcists that become exorcists, they only live for about 10 to 15 years after starting this practice. Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
dude,
why do you think that all right, JS, why do you think I'm going to inhabit JS and then just leave them alone and leave? They're not leaving you. They're
nobody's
hidden.
asking them to leave.
I know
I don't dismiss these entities after I summon them. Never.
So you shouldn't be insulted when I say you're currently possessed. And therefore, from my point of view, I don't think everything you're saying is completely just you.
I welcome possession from
I know
the entities that I offer that doorway to. All right.
I know.
Like I said, I have the sigil of Belial on
I
my
think
back. I have the
giving
sigil of
that up.
Belial or Shemyaza on my chest. Sigil of Raphael on my shoulder. The sigil of Suntalak on my other shoulder. I welcome possession. That's something I've had to work for.
Cattle are branded by their owners. Yes, I get it.
It's not being owned. It's about co-inhabiting.
What do you think possess means? I possess that. I own it.
Possession is co-inhabiting and sharing your physical vessel with another entity.
Sharing. The nice demons share with you. Look, why was there so many possessions in Jesus's time, supposedly? A lot of that is a symbol. Rome possessed Jerusalem. So legion is a Roman term for 6,000 soldiers. We are legion. The only way they could speak against Rome and power, how you could speak against empire, was through coded language. Now, I saw that video where your friend was saying Jesus sacrificed pigs to demons. That is not what happened.
Who's my friend and who said that?
You were on the couch with somebody, I think, playing footsie. No, just kidding. He's a legion. Yeah, you were talking about Jesus, and Jesus sacrificed. He was a black magician. He sacrificed. Hold on, dude. He sacrificed a bunch of pigs with legion to legion. That's not what happened at all. Jesus destroyed.
Jesus cast the demons out of the possessed man that was possessed by a legion of demons.
They
and
begged
it flew
Jesus
into a herd of pigs that hurled themselves off
little
a cliff.
bitches that these demons all are. They begged Jesus, don't throw us into the abyss.
Did you say the demons are little bitches?
Absolutely. Fuck them.
Really? Belial?
Have you heard me? I said, bring them on. I asked God to have all of them attack me as opposed
Raise your
to,
left hand. Say I, and then state your name.
I don't repeat things from demon-possessed people.
No, come on now. Come on now. You called me out. Say, raise your left hand and say
Well, tell
I,
me
and
what
then
you want
repeat
me
your
to
name.
say, but I'm not repeating things I don't know what you're trying to get
Why
me to
won't
say.
you do it?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
I want to say I blank invite Belial into my life and give him license to rain terror upon me so that I may truly know him.
That's not what I
Why
said I
won't you
did.
do it if they're not real?
I've been saying they are real.
Are they real or are they not real?
They're real.
Okay. So you damn well know that you better not do what I just dared you to do, which is give Belial or Belial free reign to have his way with you in your life.
Nice try, Belial. Nice one.
Oh,
What I
it's not a
said,
nice trial.
I don't need
It's
to
a
go through
dare.
you or Belial. I asked God to all the negativity from become a living God, all your magic, all your bad influence. Bring it to me, and I'll fucking fight it, and I'll sacrifice myself if I need to, because that's what I believe in.
You'll
I'd rather
sacrifice yourself for what?
to stop the spread.
Spread of what?
The influence of these demons using you through YouTube to hurt people, to spread more empire.
Who's hurting anybody? Who's hurting people?
I think you all are.
All
I've
of
made
us?
that very clear. That's why I'm mad.
That's why you're mad.
Yeah, of course. I asked God, put me in a place to try to help as many people as I can with my background, with my expertise, or I'll just go back to my paintings and my art and writing novels. It's fine. Here we are. So I can tell you, you are possessed. You are hurting people. You're spreading this crap. And that's I
What
know
crap?
you're a nice. Under that, you're all nice people, blah blah blah. But you're all broken people. A lot of you drug addicted. Let's admit it.
I'm not
And
broken. I'm not drug addicted.
well, okay, but you had
I
major
have a
suicide thoughts and alcoholic issues
beautiful fiance. I have a beautiful home. I have
right now.
everything I've ever wanted.
Right now, and but during your divorce here, I don't want to. You shared things. I've shared things.
Oh no!
Obviously,
Talk about my divorce. I don't care.
well, you haven't. When the shit hits the fan, you go to alcohol. You don't get stronger. You need other people. You need
No,
demons. You can't get through it.
I needed my brother, which was Behemoth X and
That
EA
was
Wedding.
Belial through Behemoth X.
They helped me. Yes, I went through a horrible divorce and I went through one of the worst times of my life. And the only thing that I had to reach out to other than Belial was my brothers, and they were there for me. 'Cause they are solid, good, decent dudes. And because of Behemoth X, that's why I'm sitting here talking to you right now. And that's why
Or
I'll
you'd have
stick up
committed
for him.
suicide. Or you would have killed yourself.
No, I wouldn't have killed myself. I
Okay.
probably would have just starved to death.
What does that mean? Are you
It means I was so
allowed?
distraught and I was in such a horrible state of emotional pain that I was not eating. I was not sleeping. All I was doing was drinking, really. And I was at the very bottom of my barrel, which I am not ashamed at all to admit. And
You
who
shouldn't.
was there? Who was there to pick me back up and put me back on my feet? Behemoth X, EA Wedding, and Belial.
Okay. Where's JS Garrett in this?
Where is
When
JS Garrett in this? I'm right in the
well,
middle of it.
here, look, you're saying you're going to hack reality for people,
Hijack
but or
reality.
okay, uh, you when reality, the real, really hits, and I'm not trying to, the truth is, you can't deal with it. You can't.
Do you think
Um,
any of us are perfect? Do you think that that any of us are completely immune to the shit that this world throws at us? Do you think we don't need
Absolutely not. But
friends?
I'm not claiming to do that. I'm not claiming to help other people when I'm totally fucked up myself.
Okay, and what does your personal life look like, if I can ask?
What do you mean?
What's your personal state in your personal life? Are you happy? Do you have everything you ever wanted? Is being a
I'm
warrior for Christ working for you?
um, my goal isn't happiness. My goal is to be interesting.
Your goal's not happiness, is to
Nah,
be
fuck
interesting.
happiness. That's for pussies.
Happiness is for
Do
pussy.
something in this world. It's not going to make you happy. I guess I get happy from having interesting, extreme experiences.
Like what? You left the occult. You abandoned the occult. You've
Yeah,
turned
because
your back on the occult field and you've
yeah,
gone over to the
because
right
what I'm
side.
doing is a lot more interesting than anything you guys are doing. You're just doing the same old playbook of Empire. This is a lot harder. This is an awesome challenge. That stuff's just boring. More
So
power, violence, force.
so so
Um,
so what if I were to tell you that I was willing to forsake everything that I have believed in and I have worked with and worked for and worked towards and totally just follow your example? What could I expect?
well, first, I would suggest that you have to, I think, change your perspective in terms of that emptiness. Instead of trying to do everything through your own power and I'm so shift to, first of all, that darkness that creeps up is a sign of God's love, not abandonment. I would say that you've got to be able to really say, you know what, that space is there, and I'm here to help people through love if I can, and start transforming that way. I think depending on, um, you can't depend on, come on, you can't depend on enemies or sorry, friends, demons. In the end, you are alone. That's what that whole message of Jesus. You're on your own, and we can only bring God back into the world through love and kindness to the stranger. So that's a big shift.
Sorry to blow that candle out.
Well, that's a first step. Thank you.
All right. So, can you give us a path working that we should all do in order to leave the darkness and behold the light?
Open yourself to being confronted. You will, next, here, an opportunity will come when you're on your own and when you feel really down and no one will give you that call and Belial won't be there or something. You will be open to really that kind of terror. And it is terror. I'm not fucking with you. If you're open to that and say, you know what? I'm going to take that darkness and see that absence of God, that existential terror and dread. God can't be here because we would be destroyed. That is a sign of his love or we wouldn't exist. So now I'm alive and I know that the real purpose of this universe is to be free and love each other. Let's do everything we can against empire, which is force and violence to get what I want. Let's let's step outside of that and win with weakness and community.
So, are you willing to take me up on my black magic ritual challenge that I
Oh, what
issued
is that?
about 7 years ago? You send me, we had this skeptic. He was like, "Black magic's not real. I'm willing to see if it's real." And he came on. He did a podcast with me, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll send you a vial of my blood and a lock of hair and all this other stuff." And after talking to the guy for a little bit, I was like, "Okay, you're not really an asshole. you know, so I'm going to do a ritual to help you instead of harm you, you know. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. I'll send you my blood. I'll send you my hair, all this other stuff. I was actually going to do a deification rite for him, you know, and he pussed out. He totally pussed out and never sent me the hair or blood. Are you willing to do that?
You want me to mail you my hair and blood?
Yeah. Not from your
Okay.
head, because there is none there. Maybe hair from your leg or your ball sack, and you know, some blood. Yeah.
For what purpose?
To do a ritual for you.
Oh, I bet. Uh,
I promise it'll be a good thing. And then we can come on after the fact, like a week or two later, and discuss whether or not I'm full of shit and whether or not my practices work.
that is so cunning. I applaud you, Belial. I'm going.
Yes, thank you.
Um, you're trying to make me into a hypocrite. I've been
No,
saying
I'm trying to
blood.
make you. I'm
I'm
trying to make you say I'm fucking sorry for being an asshole and saying all this shit about EA Coeting and Behemoth X, and say yes, your magic really does work and it really does help people, because I want to help you.
all right. I've just been advocating that blood is and blood cutting is
I'll be
wrong, and you want.
using blood. Trust me, your blood
Hmm?
and the blood of a rooster.
Yeah, I'm against cutting yourself for rituals. So
I'm
you're
not going to
asking me
cut
what we're,
myself.
we're
I'm
discussing
not
about,
cutting myself.
huh?
I'm not going to cut myself for you. I'm going
No,
to
no.
chop the head off a
You want
rooster for
me to
you.
cut my. You want my blood. You
Yeah.
just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said I'm against cutting yourself for rituals, and that's
Prick your
exactly.
finger. Don't cut yourself. Prick your finger.
Folks, I do believe this is the point where Belial starts coming through you. I really do believe that. That what you just did, there was a shift and a cunning, and I knew this would happen. So,
You did.
Belial, go fuck yourself. I'm not doing that. I've already told you I'm against blood any form for rituals, and you're trying to use your beguilement to get me to do that. I respect you, JS,
No,
and I forgive you for past.
I genuinely want to do a ritual for you.
I know you think you do. That's fine.
I
Here,
I promise you, I want to do a ritual for you. I want to do a ritual for you. I'll call it the deification rite. I know you know what that is if you've been researching me. I want to make you wake up feeling like, oh my god, I feel amazing. And then you can come back on a live stream with me and say, hey, thank you, JS.
if I take some amphetamines or something, I'll feel wow, and then it will just
Amphetamines?
long term.
We're not talking about drugs here.
I know, but it's the same thing. You'll feel
No,
good
it's not.
temporarily now. You'll feel great temporarily, but in the long run, your organs are gonna be rotting. Here, do your spells on your own people. I'm against blood for thing, and
I
I've got.
want to do a spell for you.
Well, then do it. I can't
I will
stop you.
help you. I will help you lose weight. I will help you grow some hair. I will help you get a boner. Like, seriously.
I'm sure that you would really like that. But look,
I would.
thank. All right. Hey, I really thank you for your offer. I will have to decline.
Why would you decline something like that? It's all 100% beneficial.
I
And
don't believe
hey,
it is.
if I'm full of shit, you have nothing to worry about.
I don't think you're full of shit.
Yes, you
I'm
do.
not afraid of your magic as a
No,
stance.
I'm
I
not saying you should be afraid of it. I'm saying I should use my magic to help you. All right. And then we can talk afterwards, and you can be like, hey, you know what? Chopping the head off a rooster might actually fucking be beneficial. That's what I want to do for you. I want to chop that off a rooster for you.
Well, look,
Come on, man.
I all of that is empire force and
It's
violence.
not empire.
Well, I do think that.
It is genuinely a desire to help you.
Well,
To help you evolve and transform and undergo
okay.
metamorphosis
Yourself
into the best version of yourself you can become.
Yes, wow. Like E.A. Koetting and his great weight loss. Thank you. I appreciate that. He looks like 4 when he was alcoholic. Look, I'm not interested in your consultations. I came here to discuss cutting and the dangers. I think I've made my case. I think that your excuse that you don't specifically say that is bullshit. You demonstrate it through your actions. And I
We
think there
never
is
tell anyone to cut.
vulnerable. So I think I've won this debate.
You
I hope
do?
that you guys stop. I do believe that. And I think that you guys should stop glorifying cutting just for the potential of very vulnerable people and the hypocrisy, because you guys have all been very vulnerable and suicidal many times, I think. Have some compassion.
I've
Yes, you
never been
survived. Not
suicidal,
everyone's
bro.
as tough as you fuckers, right? The tough guys will show some real passion and step outside of the power structure and say, hey, I'm going to show some weakness here. I'm going to hurt my channel and not get as many views because I'm not going to cut myself. I'm going to do that for that one guy.
It has nothing to do with views. I want to do a ritual for you.
You're asking me to do what this whole thing is about, not using blood, not spilling blood for ritual.
Exactly. And so if I spill blood for you and you can come back and say, yes, this helped me, then I think I'll win the debate, won't I?
Well, it's all subjective, but even if you are right, and I felt blah, blah, for how long?
For how long?
10 years?
10 years? Nah, I can't guarantee no 10 years. Maybe 6 months.
Okay. What's the cost?
Just there is no cost. The cost is the cost of the rooster. All right, the cost is a rooster. Let me perform a deification rite for you personally, and then you can get back on here a month later and tell me that you've experienced what?
JS, I have been doing magic.
I want to do this for you. I want to do it for you.
Before you were born, frankly. I don't need your help. I have someone set the god of storms from Egypt. I don't need to mess around with, your marketing demons. I am
marketing demons? What's that mean?
Well, I think they're here.
What's a marketing demon? Tell me so I can know.
I think that the demon is your work.
God knows we could use some marketing, because we only get like what, I said, 400 or 500 views on our shit.
And negativity. Well, yeah.
Let me do a ritual for you, bro.
What? Here. I believe you are possessed by Belial. I knew that you would come at me and try to.
I'm not coming at you. I'm offering to help you.
This is very, very cunning. I get it.
It's not cunning. It's not a joke. I really
I don't think it is a joke. You won't accept. Here. You guys are coming after me. I know you are.
We're not coming after you. Trust me. If we're coming after you, I wouldn't be doing a video with you at all.
The whole point of the video is what you just did. Look, I'm not going to give you my blood or my hair.
I don't need that. Just give me your permission.
Permission to what?
I'll get a picture of you off YouTube.
Listen,
I've already name and birthday.
I've asked all the demons that you guys deal with. I haven't asked them. I asked God that all their force and negativity that they're putting out there through you does come to me, because I'm the only one apparently who can recognize it and put a stop to it.
You're the only one. You are the one. You.
I'm here now. I'm the first one. I'll say, how's that? I'm the first one.
Let me do a ritual for you.
I can't stop you. But you're not.
No, you can't stop me. I'm asking you to ask me to do it for you.
What ritual?
The deification rite. The rite of deification. Where I actually pull you out of body and sacrifice a rooster unto you in order to give you strength and power to transfer the energy from that rooster directly into you physically and spiritually in order to enhance you in every possible way. Let me do that for you, and I promise you, we will get back on here in a month and you'll be like, damn, JS, you were right. Let me do it. You're a
I
pussy if
can't
you don't at this
to
point.
harm innocent animals for that purpose.
Innocent? No, no, no. These chickens are going to be sacrificed no matter what. Let me do one for you.
Here, and I just want to back up here. I don't know anything about how many people are trying to do anything with to prevent you guys from doing what you're doing. I'm not a
There's
savior.
nobody.
I asked what I believe. Just put me where I need to be to help people if I can.
I want
I'm
to
not
put you
a
where you
savior.
need to be. I
Huh?
want to put you where you need to be. I want to do a deification
Sure
right
do.
for you.
I'm sure you do. Hey, it has been a great conversation. If you want to do a ritual, please don't. That would be against my beliefs because you're
You mean
harming
do it
animals.
or don't? Do it or please don't. Which one?
I don't want you to harm animals or yourself or anyone else. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Worry about that cutter out there, that kid, that young man who's suicidal, who might be triggered by seeing blood or that. Just think about it. Is there a better way? And
There's really nobody else to be worried about because
well,
we don't tell anybody to cut.
Behemoth X cuts himself and shows it and makes sigils, and that's what I'm here talking about. I didn't discuss your channel. You're not cutting yourself. You are a minor, if you want to call that violence. I mean, I get what you're saying. That's really pushing it. But I think blood and rituals can lead to a lot of negativity. That's all I'm saying. You guys don't care, and that's clear. But I do. So there you go.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what,
Well,
brother.
wonderful day.
If you change your mind and you're willing to allow me to do a deification rite for you, then we will.
I understand. I
definitely
do.
get back on a month later.
I hope you don't. It would be against my beliefs of force and violence. So if you can do something with weakness and love for me,
What does
I
that
appreciate
mean?
that.
Weakness and
If
love.
not, surrender.
What do you mean? What type of ritual? If you could have me do a ritual for you, what would it be?
It's not possible. You don't do
What's
ritual. It's the demons doing it, and all they're going to do is bring more misery to this world and to my life, if they can. I know you think they're your little teddy bear buddies. I know you think that. I know they're not.
what's a teddy bear buddy?
Well,
What do you mean?
I can't win this court case. I'm going to drown myself in a bathtub. Oh, here you go. I'll pull you out.
Hey, that shit worked. It worked.
For now.
Don't blame me. That shit worked.
For now. No, I'm glad you're here. I wish you would have went to. That's like a baptism. Just like I think deep down, Jesus is a badass.
I love
Go
Jesus.
deeper into that. Here, you know what? Just look into his badassery. Don't judge what I'm doing by these fucking bastard Christians and child molesters or where the fuck they are. I hate that too. I hate them. I despise them.
I was gonna say, man, you're advocating for Christianity. Are you advocating for pork and altar boys or what?
Obviously, you know the answer to that. And I think you said we're almost like the real Christians in a way.
A real Christian is someone who strives to be Christ-like. That's what Christian means. Someone who strives to be Christ-like. So therefore, by performing the rituals that we perform, the same rituals that Christ performed in the Bible, us black magicians are more Christians than any of you motherfuckers that are speaking out against black magic.
Well, I just think the only thing is you are using force and violence to try to. So I see a contradiction there.
I don't
Now,
force anybody to do anything.
now look, I'm reading some of E.A. Coetting's comments here, and I've been trying to be a bigger person, and
I
he's
haven't
just
seen
going
them.
on
I've
with a
only
lot of
been paying
negativity.
attention to you, sir. I
What's
have
that?
not read a single comment. I've been paying attention to you.
Yeah, no, I just glanced
Because
down.
you are a specimen. You're a specimen. And you have my full
I'll take
attention.
that as an insult and a compliment all at
It's not an
once.
insult. It's a compliment.
Well, hey,
You look like me, only a little bigger.
yeah, you know, I don't know what to say. Sorry, I'm not the weight you want to be.
Would you like to join the bald white guy cult?
Well, looking at E.A. Coetting recently, I don't know if you can help my
We
weight
got to
loss.
shave his head. We got to shave E.A.
You
Coetting's
got to
head.
shave him. I think more. What do they eat? Where's he? Idaho or something? Potatoes? Where's Utah? No, sorry, Utah.
Yeah, something like that.
He, now he's saying I'm in here. You know what? You guys deserve better than E.A. Coetting, but I'm glad you like them.
Well, that is my number one brother, along with Behemoth X. And that's the whole reason I had you on, man, because you made 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 videos. Just like, and your last video is like a whole rant about how you're not jealous of Behemoth X.
Yeah.
Like, for real, if you're not jealous of the motherfucker, then why you got to make a whole video about why you're not jealous about him?
Well, it's also how not to be jealous in general.
In general.
Get inspired. Yeah, if you watch the whole video,
I did.
How I get inspired by people who are really good at things. To it's like, A, what's that like to make something like that? And B, can I push myself to even get close to them? I don't get jealous from it. I really don't. I don't understand
You
that.
promise you're not jealous?
I swear I've never had jealousy over Behemoth X.
You're not jealous of Behemoth X at all?
0.
What about E.A. Coetting? You jealous of E.A.
Even
Coetting?
0.0 point.
What about me? No, you've never even mentioned me, motherfucker. You've never even mentioned me in any of your slam videos. Do you understand how I take that as a fucking insult? Like, you're going to slam Behemoth X. You're going to slam E.A. Coetting. But you ain't said a fucking word about JS Garrett. How am I supposed to take that?
I was too scared and intimidated.
Oh, I'm sure you were. Bullshit. Bullshit. I didn't have enough subscribers.
I'm scared.
I wasn't cool enough. I wasn't important enough for you to talk shit about.
I saw Siren and I'm like, no, thank you. Not gonna mess with this guy.
Yeah, because I got a badass bitch. That's for sure.
You do.
I do.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Congrats. And I wish all the viewers, success and love and compassion, and peace. Yeah. And I understand there's a lot of trauma. We all have that. And, I'm presenting a view, and thank you for having me on. And you should absolutely, I'm always questioning myself and my views and like, God, this is bullshit or whatever. Just keep doing that. Don't look at views as meaning your opinion is better or more right than someone else's. Always be objective and look at things. Someone says, hey, I'm possessed. I welcome possession. Look into that yourself and decide yourself if that's something you want to do. Look into, cutting and all of that, how that might affect people, and make your own decisions. It might take a week or so of research, or you're just a dilettante and a fanboy of this. So, here, thank you, sincere thank you, and I'm sorry that I poked some fun at these guys and insulted them. I didn't realize you were taking it so bad. I didn't.
We're not taking it bad.
Okay.
We're obviously wrapping it up here. I would just want to say, like, is there anything you want to say to Behemoth X before we wrap it up?
Okay. As an artist, I want to see you really push it in terms of can we do an all white or like change the whole
All
thing?
white, like Nazi shit. We're both two white guys with shaved heads. What the fuck, dude? You can't
All
say
white,
that on my
like
channel.
a white motif, like switch it up instead of black clothing.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
like
Because we're both white with shaved heads. You can't say all white on my channel,
okay,
motherfucker.
uh, 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 change the aesthetic. Try something new.
Yeah. Start over and don't say all white.
Okay. Avoid heavy metal cliches. How's that? And see what
Okay.
what it looks like visually.
Okay.
I'd like to see that.
Okay. Well, sir, I would like to thank you for coming on my live stream. I think this has been an awesome conversation. And
Do this not as mockery, as a thank you to you in your language.
absolutely. Hail Satan, hail the Infernal Empire. Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.